There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, you never left you still in me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. Gates is not the only bill that I've been observing, and not the only bill that I find kind of disturbing. Let's go back to the year 1986 and meet the 99th Congress. What a bunch of dicks. They came up with H.R. 4456, the Child Vaccination Act. And here's a wild, fascinating fact. If your company that you own and they supply the vaccine and somebody died, nobody gets tried in a court of law at all. Problem solved. No retribution, no legal solution. You all scot-free. Watch me. Hop on a plane with Mr. Epstein. Now boarding the Lolita Express. Whoa, look over there, man. Is that Eminem and Stephen Colbert? And look, it's the two Bills, Clinton and Gates. Oh man, and they look like they're hitting on that girl that we met on the plane. The one that was with Ghislaine. I think her name was Courtney. Shit, she's only 14. We need to get the fuck up out of here. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, you never let you still in me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Now, let's say that you got a foundation and almost all your donations, they're directed toward the containment of a particular contagion. And one of your experts, he's kind of grouchy, his name is Mr. Fauci. He comes up with an equation. Fear plus persuasion equals the creation of a frightened nation whose panic and lack of education and only wanting just some protection from this agent of infection, they head in your direction and they ask Mr. Bill for their injection.
Wanting just protection from this agent of infection.
Why don't you go get your shine box?
Your direction.
Go get your fucking shine box,
Their
Tony.
injection.
I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you still in me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Dear Bill, I wrote you, but I keep getting returned to sender. I've even tried your wife Melinda, but she's putting a block on my calls. There's a rumor she might have a cock and balls. I apologize for the cursing. I guess you two are never in the same room at the same time, so people think you might be the same person. But anyway, fuck it, man. What's been up? How's the vaccine biz? I know you wish that everybody was on board like Maxine is. Oh, guess what? My wife's pregnant again. You remember Myrtle? Yeah, I always seem to wind up with the skanks. What's up with you having 3 kids? I thought Melinda was infertile and you were shooting blanks. And what's up with all these tanks? I see them being transported on a train. Is that for martial law? This shit's getting insane. You remember when I met you in New Delhi and you were complaining that it was really smelly? Well, I asked you if it was safe getting that polio vaccine and you said I was making a great decision. Yeah, well, my daughter's okay, but my son Micah, he lost his vision. Yeah, it's been some time and a lot of tears now. And Micah, he's been blind for years now. He's gotten pretty good at walking with a cane, though. Anyway, hit me up, yo. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, you never left me still in me. I feel your divinity my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
How y'all doing this evening? And welcome to yet another evening catch-up. I will be your host, Poison Stinger. Nah, man. How's everybody doing? Last night's video got a little bit more play than normal. Not during... Well, I mean, we had a few people popping in and out. But surprisingly, yesterday's video did quite well on the replay. Got a few comments on there. Definitely some OTLs and some... people with law enforcement in their family or whatever, So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. I want to thank Armed Archangel for providing a link. I am playing it right now, and we'll go ahead and go to that. I have it on mute, but you can watch it in the background while I catch up on chat. Let's see. Gerald B, as always, in here. Thank you very much, Gerald B. Sorry that you weren't a mod earlier. I thought I'd done that, but apparently not. You are one now, so definitely share a link with that... 70K or less place. I mean, I don't really want to live in Maine, but that's, I don't know. Making it tempting, right? Let's see. It has one he has put out in the last 6 weeks. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I watched quite a few of them, but man, he's got a ton of videos. How back far do you need to go? Kind of, that was why. Armed Archangel provided the link we're watching right now. Gerald B. Hell, my wife liked the small house in Merrill for like 60 Paro crossed from Milkwood Park. Right across. Okay. All right. And Restream Bot is working currently. Riddle Girl, keep an eye on D Live. Hey, everybody watching on D Live. How you doing this evening? Welcome. Thank you for joining. And Broken Patriots in the house. All right. So last night's chat, as I said, got a few OTLs, got a few police officer family members or police officers themselves. Who knows? I didn't ask. And that's fine. But I don't know, man. I mean, we had this debate a little bit last night with somebody in the chat. So I'm gonna talk about it right now. I err on the side of freedom. At least I try, right? And sometimes maybe I get it wrong or whatever. And then you guys call me out, right? So I didn't know that this guy last night, or Sunday, I guess now, Sunday, had a knife in his hand. Does it change some things? Yeah, maybe. It's definitely more than him being unarmed, because that was the report, right? That he was unarmed. He technically wasn't unarmed. However, he technically also was not, going after anybody with it. So let's say that. Now, somebody else had said, well, he had a gun in the car and he was reaching for it. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that. I'd be interested if anybody has found anything like that. But I mean, that's a pretty bold statement to come out without proving, any evidence to the whole, if he had a firearm in the vehicle or not. Right? Surprisingly, he's still alive. He is conscious, apparently. I saw a news conference today with his lawyer team, and he was cracking jokes to his wife, apparently. So, I mean, that's good. He's going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life, but he's going to have money to pay all of his medical bills, I'm pretty sure. So, there you go. But when it comes to the law enforcement, yes, I don't think they should be disbanded or defunded, right? I don't. I don't like that the police officers are even in existence. I do believe that we should have a constitutional republic, sheriff, law enforcement. I believe that police force are private security forces hired by the state, and therefore unconstitutional. That's my opinion, okay? I believe also that a lot of the law enforcement have been militarized and are getting military issue stuff secondhand or whatever, there's no reason you need a tank to do your job. There's no reason you should be grabbing your firearm first thing, especially in some of these cases, especially with the case on Sunday. He should have been tased. He should have been tackled. He should have had a lot of other things happen before he automatically got shot. Now you'll be like, well, they didn't want to get up close because he had that knife. Well, the cop grabbed him by the shirt and then shot him 7 times. Right? How he survived that, I have no idea. Now, see these fools over here burning stuff? They all deserve whatever they get. Right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Right? You're rioting. You're hurting people. If you get shot, I'm not going to feel sorry for you. Just like if you came into my house and burned shit and hurt people I love, I ain't going to feel bad for you for taking you out either. You know what I mean? You can't go out and expect this kind of stuff. If you want to focus your rage to those who are actually responsible, I can kind of get behind that. But just random freaking looting and burning shit down? No. I cannot get behind that. Well, when a cop says stop, you stop. The guy has a sheet. Well, see, that would be follow the law, right? OTL. Obey the law. Well, what if what the cop wants you to do is not in with the law? Right? Cops tell you to stop all the time when technically you don't legally need to. Right? Is it smart to? Yeah, maybe. It might be smart. But we've seen already that even if you follow the police officer's orders to a T, as best to your ability as you possibly can, they still can shoot you and get away with it. Get rehired, and then get a pension when they retire a month later because they had traumatic stress from killing an innocent person. So, no. I don't think that just because a cop says stop and you should stop, that then therefore if you do not stop, you should die. If I don't stop when a cop says to stop, that doesn't give him the right to shoot me. It just doesn't. If he needs to detain me because I did something illegal, right, then he can detain me in other ways. But if I'm walking away and not posing any threat, no, they don't have a right to shoot me. And that's why I believe in police reform. There should not be militarized police. There should be no no-knock warrants. That is dangerous on all sorts of levels, right? No-knock warrants. How many times they've broken into the wrong house? One time they actually had the person already in custody, didn't know about it, and still got into the wrong house. There needs to be more checks and balances to this thing. They need to be held to much higher standard, and their immunity probably should be questioned. All right. That's my rant. What's up, Mr. Tommy Boy 9? I plan to sleep to get up by 1 a.m. here. All right. Well, thank you very much, Tommy Boy. That's awesome. Thank you. Why didn't you use a billy club or taser first? Why go straight for the gun? I'm telling you, man. It's crazy. I don't really get it. But I'm not a police officer, right? And if I was, I would assume I could be facing some life-threatening issues, right? This is what I signed up for, right? It's not a safe job. Tommy Boy, we went all out and got more gold before the panic starts. You think there's going to be more panic? My son-in-law started a channel called Bain Builds. Is that Bain? Like B-A-I-N-E? Yeah, Bain? I think Bain Builds. Cool. What is he building? Why am I not surprised by that? LOL, yeah, no shit. So yeah, these people here that are burning stuff down, if they get police brutality against them, I mean, what do you expect? You want to go after the cop? Like, I can get behind a lot of these a lot of these shootings, right? Even George Floyd. I can get behind that. I can protest with you peacefully. I can go up to the police station in a mass amount, open carrying, right? Firearms, freaking tac vest, the whole bit. And I'll be there with you. But as soon as one of y'all starts rioting and looting things that we're not even about, because you want a new pair of Nikes, No, man, I'm out. I'm out. Fallout Gaming, did they try a taser? Not that I've been told or reported. However, we do have another angle on the situation. Apparently, we're going to get to that. 5 ounces. Holy crap. A mini bike for my granddaughter? Oh, cool. He's building a mini bike.
Yeah, I went over to the channel and subbed.
Oh, real girl went and subbed. All right. Congratulations. You got a sub. All right. Watch. Kenosha residents fire warning shots as rioters threaten neighborhoods. Now, this was earlier today, so maybe those warning shots have become actual shots, because I believe that Armed Archangel was talking about people getting shot, and that was the video that we were watching just recently. On Monday night, rioters in Kenosha, Wisconsin spread their civil unrest from primarily urban and commercial centers to residential areas. Why? Why are you going to residential areas? Why are you going to commercial centers? Why aren't you going to the police station? And the residents in those areas were having none of it. Shortly after midnight, a group of demonstrators got in their cars and traveled to a residential neighborhood where they parked in a grassy area across from a row of houses. As they began exiting their vehicles, a homeowner emerged from his house and began firing warning shots at the rioters. A homeowner in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, fired a warning shot at protesters in his neighborhood. The would-be rioters began to flee as the man fired several more shots. In another incident, a group of rioters attacked and burned several local businesses in an area near a residential neighborhood. Black Lives Matter. Let's just burn it all down. Indiscriminately, right? A lot of these are black-owned businesses. They don't care. It's nothing to do with Black Lives Mattering. It's about, I want to vent my rage and I want to get a free set of Nikes. That's what it is. The would-be rioters... I already read that. The would-be rioters began to flee as a man fired several more shots. In another incident, a group of rioters attacked and burned several local businesses in an area near a residential neighborhood. As the rioters moved through the area, several shots rang out from a man who appeared to be a business owner. Oh man, hell yeah. Give that guy a high five. Not all the rioting was directed at local businesses or residential neighborhoods. The Kenosha courthouse, hey, what do you know, which was guarded by the Wisconsin National Guard, came under sustained attack by hundreds of rioters who hurled bottles and hot fireworks at them. Is there such a thing as cold fireworks? I guess unlit. The rioting in Kenosha is now finishing its second night. The unrest began on Sunday evening after police officers shot 29-year-old Jacob Blake in the back after he refused to follow a lawful order to stop and attempted to gain entry into a vehicle. Doesn't give you the right to shoot him 7 times. Within hours, Kenosha was ablaze as rioters began looting and committing acts of arson all over the city. Blake is alive and receiving treatment at a local hospital. Let's see. Did you find the second? Hold on. No, this is the same as that. Okay. Or did you email it to me and I haven't opened it yet?
I emailed it to you.
Yeah, I know you did. I'm just thinking maybe I haven't opened it yet.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Welcome, Mindy Patriot Angel.
Oh. Oh, it's a Twitter thing, huh? All right. Hold up. You caught me as I'm doing things. I'm trying to get things a little bit more organized. All right. Armed Archangel. Yes, I think Antifa was chasing a business owner with an AR-15. Stupid if you ask me. The business owner shot him in the chest. Play stupid games. Mindy Patriot Angel. A lot of these protesters are being bussed in. Really? Maybe. I mean, do you have any picture? Well, you're not a mod yet, but I haven't seen that personally. Mindy Patriot says hello. Broken Patriot, share the stream. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys do like my streams, and I do appreciate all the thumbs up, even the thumbs down. That's awesome. But really, if you like it and you think I should get more people in here and we can have more of a discussion, then sharing the links to these streams on your social medias is probably a really good way of doing that. So, I mean, that would be cool if you want to. Mr. Tommy Boy, we've been going back and forth for many years, Mindy. Oh yeah, you know Mindy, Patriot Angel? Maybe? I don't know your deal with that. Okay, so new video shows Jacob Blake brawling and wrestling with police before being shot. Blake was wanted on felony sex crimes warrant at the time. Wow. That's a little bit more in-depth, isn't it? Does it mean he should have been shot 7 times?
Kind of a crappy video, but you can see more than you could see in the first one we watched.
Right. Well, I'm taking a moment to pause, right? He wrestled with police before he got up, and then he was walking away. What do you guys think? Does that deserve being shot 7 times? One of the protesters was asked if he was from there, and he admitted he was from Chicago. Well, Chicago's not that far away, to be honest. I mean, this is really South Wisconsin, like as South Wisconsin as you can get. And already from Milwaukee, like if you drive from Milwaukee to Chicago, and I know because I've done it many a time, if you drive from Milwaukee to Chicago, there's very little of not city, right? It's almost like a full suburbs, a full city, right? Like in Phoenix, we have Mesa, Scottsdale, Tempe, Glendale, all these cities that basically there is no gap in between. You're just in a city and there might be a sign that says welcome to Glendale, and it's almost the same thing from going from Milwaukee to Chicago. I think Chicago to Milwaukee is like an hour drive, maybe. That I don't remember exactly how long that is because we didn't live in Milwaukee. We lived in north of that. All right. So let's watch this.
Get my son! Get my son! Get my son! Get my son! Get TJ! TJ! You are broken!
Okay, so I'm guessing right there they're on the ground tussling.
This bitch is broken! My kid is broken! Mom, get back! Mom! 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 You have to get back! Get my son!
Alright, so that's the video. I don't know if that was any better. I don't think it was. It just shows basically, I mean, it's so small of a video. And once again, people, this is not how you take video. This is how you take video. Ugh. The guy the police shot had an outstanding warrant for sexual assault. Yeah, we just read that. He did have a knife on him. We did see that last night when he was trying to get away from the police. And here's the question. And this is the thing. I don't know everything that went on. It's not great, right? Like if I was a police officer right now, and I don't care where it is, I would be trying to use anything else I have available before I use my firearm. Okay? That's just smart. Let's just put it like that. It's smart to not use your firearm if you don't have to. Especially if the other person is of African persuasion, right? I'm just saying. I don't know. Yeah, we saw that he had a knife, right? And I had mentioned last night before we knew of this second angle that he wasn't going after anybody with it because originally this was reported as there was a domestic disturbance. He was trying to break it up, right? And then we just saw him walking away, getting in the car and getting shot 7 times. Okay, then Broken Patriot, I think, is the one that broke out the extra photo of him holding what looked to be a karambit, right? It was kind of a small one. This is a lot bigger, but that's what it appeared to be from the very poor quality video. Okay, but at that time, he wasn't going after anybody. Now that we see this, well, they were on the ground. Maybe he did. Maybe, I'm sure he had that on him at the time. Maybe he didn't have it drawn out at the time. Maybe after he got up, he pulled it out. Who knows? Right? But do these police officers not have tasers? You know, there was at least 3 police officers there, I believe. I don't know. All right, so that's all I'm going to say about that. One more pull would have done it. You need 8 shots, so SHTF, you know this is only a test. Also, don't start a video, then turn your phone. The video will be sideways. Yes, that's a good tip, Broken Patriot. Ethan. Oh, Ethan, I can't pronounce your last name. I'm going to try.
Schnitzler.
Schnitzler? Schnitzler. Sounds like a dessert. Sounds delicious.
Sounds like schnitzel, which is
right.
a German dish. And it's
right.
delicious.
So he's rooting for Trump 2020. All right. I go back and forth with Trump. I probably will vote for him because fuck if I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, but I'm not like a huge Trump supporter. I will call him out when I think he done something stupid or unconstitutional. You never go to a gunfight with a knife? I don't know, man. Doug Marcaida. I think I would want more than a gun if I had to fight Doug Marcaida. Ethan. Why didn't he just put his hands up and obey the police orders?
Because you still get shot anyway when you do?
Oh. Yeah, you can't say that, Riddle. We're not talking about Ryan Whitaker here in Phoenix, who was putting his hands up and dropping down to his knees and then got shot in the back 3 times. Well, twice, and I think there was 3 shots, but he only got hit twice. Well, first of all, the police officer has no more authority than, how do I want to put this? A police officer's life matters no more than mine. Nobody's life in this world matters any more than yours, right? And a police officer is just a person, right? He's not anybody special. Most police officers, if not 99.99% of them, don't even know most of the laws in their own state. Yet they have immunity and can get away with straight up murder in a lot of cases. I have a lot of instances we can talk about. We're not going to because I've hashed them out. I'm just saying it happens. Does it happen a lot? Maybe not. But I do think that there is some sort of police reform that needs to happen. Right? No knock warrants, gone. Maybe not using your firearm first, gone. I can understand if the guy's coming at you with a knife, right? If he's actively coming at you with knife drawn, okay. If he's got gun in hand and pointing it or getting ready to point it or moving it up to point it, yeah, okay. I have a right then for self-defense too. Here's the question that you need to ask yourself if it passes muster, right? If it was me, and I was making a citizen's arrest, and I shot him 7 times as he was getting into a vehicle trying to get away from me, would I be in trouble? If the answer is yes, I would be in trouble, then the police officer should not have done that. All right. How long is it going to be to release the body cam or leak the body cam footage? Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. They like to leak it when they think they have a good case. Ethan, he brought this on himself. I don't think he did. But we can agree to disagree if you want. I mean, I don't totally disagree with that. He brought it on himself. He shouldn't have fought, right? I don't know why they were there. We'll find that out later, right? He didn't deserve getting shot, is my opinion. Did he deserve getting arrested? Well, if they're there because he had some sex crimes and that was the real reason, not because he broke up a fight, then yes. I believe he should have been arrested, right? But at the same time, there's 3 cops. One of them didn't have a taser. Yes, I would go to jail. I'm telling you, I would, man. We all seen, well, my loyal viewers, we all seen the Ryan Whitaker video, right? If I knock on somebody's door and then slide over so they can't see me through the peephole, and then he comes out and I tell him to, I got my gun on him and he drops to his knees and I shoot him in the back twice as he's, hands up, getting down on his knees, am I going to go to jail for murder? If the answer is yes, then that shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? Just because they have a costume and a badge doesn't make them have more authority in that way, right? They still need to be held to the same standard everybody else is. Broken Patriot. Hell, cops here put a guy down on the hot asphalt, probably 150 degrees or more. Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. Yeah, being put on the ground in Phoenix, Arizona during the summertime. That's its own set of cruelty right there. I haven't ever had the pleasure. All right, so we already read that one. Black man has been arrested for shooting at Trump supporters near the RNC. if you don't have a firearm and a permit, if you want to obey the law, I would suggest getting one before it's too late, because everybody's arming up. That's when you know shit's going to get real bad real quick, when everybody's arming up. Police in Fort Mill, South Carolina, a suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina, where a Republican National Convention was being held, arrested a black man, 23-year-old Marcus Damaris, on Tuesday for shooting at a group of President Trump supporters. Wow.
I think his name is Demarius.
Demarius? Okay. Fort Mill police say someone drove up I-77 last night and fired a gun at supporters of President Trump. They were waving flags from the Sutton Road overpass. Police say a Charlotte man is in custody this morning, pending charges. No one was hurt. Witnesses says a car with 3 men drove past the supporters a few times while cursing at them. The vehicle turned on I-77, headed north in the direction of Charlotte, and then the driver leaned out the window, yelled, and fired bullets at the crowd. So he was also the driver. No one was shot or injured. Wow. Dude, you driving and shooting, and you're not good at either one, apparently. We all had the windows down because we had all the windows down because we had all the flags out the windows. I don't know who's saying this, because I don't think it's this guy. And it was very loud, and it was 4 or 5 shots. Yeah, so the protesters, apparently, I thought they were on the bridge, but they say we had all the windows down because we had all the flags out the windows. Maybe
There's a female Angie Freeman at the parade.
Angie Freeman?
Yeah, you gotta keep reading.
Yeah. So, Angie Freeman, who was at the parade, but what vehicle were they in? You know, a South Carolina state trooper was on the bridge when shots were fired. Police officers pursued the vehicle and then found it at Gold Hill Road at Deerfield Drive with no one in it. They saw Osamni, who fit the description that witnesses gave to officers, with 2 other men in a different car. Officers stopped the car, questioned the men, and arrested Eshmani. Officers spoke with several people. They stated they were present at the political gathering in that area of Sutton Road when the 3 male subjects drove by more than once, making derogatory remarks and yelling obscenities at them from their vehicle, said Fort Mills police. The victims also stated as the vehicles turned from Sutton Road onto the ramp to northbound I-77, the driver of the vehicle continued yelling and then extended his arm through the window holding what appeared to be a handgun. So now we're at appeared to be. The victims further stated at the moment they heard several shots fired, and the vehicle then proceeded northbound on the interstate. The other 2 men were set free and were not charged. Wait a minute now. Now this might be different in each state, but if you rob a house and somebody gets murdered, the person that kills the person is going to get charged with murder, but so are you. It's I forget the wording for it, right? But that's a thing. If they're in the vehicle as he's shooting at people, missing wildly, or maybe he's shooting blanks, I don't know. Maybe it's not even a gun. It says assumed to be a firearm. You would think that they would be charged as well. I'm surprised they're not. Police charged Asamni with 6 counts of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, 1 count of unlawful carrying of a pistol, so technically it was a pistol, 1 count of pointing and presenting firearms at a person, or brandishing, and possession of a firearm during a violent crime. All right. Number 7, happy now. Oh, Mr. Tommy Boy hit the like button. Thank you, dude. Broken Patriot, I wish I could afford one. Hell, even a High Point. Well, they're like $150. High Points. Although they were. I haven't priced a High Point in a while. I mean, I've never owned one, so there's that. I wish let's see, I read that. Godzilla Megatron. First time I think I've seen you here. Thank you for joining. 3 people were shot by National Guard in Wisconsin now. I don't doubt it. The question will be, were they rioters and looters, or were they innocent bystanders? if they're rioters and looters actively destroying property and trying to hurt people or their stuff, I don't feel sorry for them. That's one of those play stupid games, win stupid prizes things. Dude, awesome name. Yeah, it is an awesome name. Thanks, but 3 people were just by the National Guard just now on the stream. Is that this stream here? Let's see. Dub 4. Hey, in case you guys don't know, there was just a shooting a little bit ago in Kenosha. At least 3 injured, possibly 2 dead. Yeah, this is the live stream I have. I don't have any other live streams. But we'll watch that for a little bit. Hold on a second. Let me rewind it. I don't think this is showing the courthouse, and I believe the courthouse is where the National Guard is set up. All right. Let me do a quick search. This one has quite a few different cameras. And it's unavailable. Probably because there was a shooting. YouTube doesn't really like to show live stuff like that. Well, it says 8 people watching. Hold on. Fire tear gas. That's not that. Oops, I took out the wrong thing. Yeah, it's strange why it's not available. Maybe it's on BitChute. No. You anything on DLive? Here we go. It's unavailable there too. Well, I don't know what else to say on that one. And this one's Missouri, so I don't think that's going to count. All right. Dub 4. Hey, in case you guys already read that, not National Guard. Okay. Riders shot each other. I've been watching live for hours. It was live. The Guard did it. All right, so we have 2 reports, right? And I'm sure we'll talk about this tomorrow. I'll look into it, and I'll find out. Was it National Guard, or was it other rioters, or was it citizens? Because we've had reports of citizens saying, no, we're going to shoot back at you, right? Kenosha residents are firing warning shots at rioters. Now, those warning shots will not be warning shots if they continue. You can't go into neighborhoods and businesses and not expect the businesses in the neighborhoods to protect themselves. If you're going in there trying to destroy stuff, I do not feel sorry one little bit that you're getting shot, right? You're actively trying to destroy property or people's lives. You get what you get coming. That's all I got to say about that. National Guard, I don't necessarily agree with them being called in for other reasons, but at this point, what are you going to do? It's better than the National Guard than the Army, right? At least that's state, supposedly. CJTV caught it on his live stream. CJTV. Let's see. I'll do one more search on it. All one thing, I hope. Probably could be. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. But, okay. Oh, I just erased my thing. All right, sore loser Hillary Clinton tells Biden not to concede under any circumstances. Hillary Clinton has some advice for Joe Biden. Do not concede in a close race. The 2016 nominee sits down with J.M. Palmieri and urges Dems to pay close attention to the GOP's strategy. While one former First Lady, Michael Obama, is fond of encouraging his fellow Democrats to take the high road when political opponents are perceived to go low, bullshit. If they go really low, they just do it sneakily. Hillary Clinton is telling Democrats to stoop even lower. In a dramatic about-face from her own race against President Donald Trump, the failed 2016 presidential candidate suggests that current Democratic nominee Joe Biden should refuse to accept the results of the upcoming November election. Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances, Clinton said in a remote interview with her former campaign stooge Jennifer Palmieri. Clinton recklessly and dangerously declared that Trump's victory would be invalid due to suspicions that he might cheat to win. Big surprise. Dems are calling, Trump a cheater. But she said that being sore losers, the left could ultimately prevail in a drawn-out war of attrition, albeit one that inevitably would further erode the foundations of democracy and increase partisan acrimony. I think it's going to drag out, Clinton said, and eventually I do believe he, Biden, will win if we don't give an inch and if we are focused and relentless as the other side is. Wow. All right. The video that caught it was 55 minutes long. I watched the guy get shot. It was not the National Guard. Warning shots are very rare, especially with ammo shortages and how expensive it is, man. Don't expect to get a warning shot if you break into my house or even attempt to. You know what I mean? Another writer watched CGTV video. He caught that guy getting shot. It was right in front of them. Well, if it's true, it'll be on the news, and I'll watch it tomorrow, and I'll report on it tomorrow. Godzilla, Megatron. Nope, the man was facing the National Guard when it happened. Godzilla, go back and look at the stream. You're lying. Uh-oh. We got a little debate, a little drama in the chat. Tell you what, I'll look it up for the news tomorrow, and we can figure this out. Stop the misinformation. There you go. If they're rioting, they get what they deserve, whether it be National Guard or whether it be a citizen. It's just how it is. If you're actively in a riot and causing damage, I don't feel sorry for you. I'm not going to really go into too much of this, but it's a paradox of a pandemic that has crushed the U.S. economy, 2.9 million lost jobs, and a dangerous rash of businesses closing, yet personal finances of many Americans have remained strong and in some ways have even improved. This is kind of a good story in a way. A new poll from the Associated Press Center for Public Affairs Research finds that 45% of Americans say they're setting aside more money than usual. 26% are paying down debt faster than they were before the Rona pandemic. In total, about half of Americans say they've either saved more or paid down debt since the outbreak began. And that's true. Right? We had a little bit of credit card debt. It wasn't much. It was like $900, right? And we've been setting money aside, getting gold, getting silver, getting cash. We're looking at getting land, not spending more money than we can, trying to save as much as we can. The findings highlight the unique nature of the current crisis. Nearly $3 trillion in government aid in the form of direct payments, expanded jobless benefits, and forgivable payroll loans help cushion against the fastest economic downturn in American history. Meanwhile, health fears and mandated closures prompted many Americans to spend less on restaurant meals, clothing, and travel. That could be part of it. But I hope people are seeing that they need to be saving. That's what I actually hope for on that. And, talking about the $3 trillion in government aid, a lot of that went to Israel, apparently. I was watching one of these channels that are all against, anything Israel. And I'm not against Israel people. I think the people themselves are fine. I think Jewish people are fine. I do not like any organization who would think that they're better than another individual for any reason, right? I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a black supremacist. And I am not a Zionist, right? So if you come at me saying you're better than me because of reasons, I'm automatically going to say no. Their government, I do think, has some shady issues, and they do a lot of shady shit. But so does every government that I know of. Name me one government that doesn't do shady shit. You know what I mean? About 2/3 say they're spending less than usual during the pandemic. Since February, there has been a $1.3 trillion jump in money kept in checking accounts, a 56 increase tracked by the Federal Reserve. Why is the Federal Reserve tracking your checking account? While the greater savings helps to keep families more financially secure, it may also limit the scope of any recovery in a country left or that relies on consumer spending for growth. Well, that's a problem for other reasons, right? Everything goes into extra mortgage payments, he said. As an artist, it's fear or feast or famine. You never know if you're going to get on a big commission or if the gallery does well. There you go. That's an artist. Broken Patriot. If the writer wasn't writing, he wouldn't have gotten shot. Unfortunately, there are casualties in any shootings, right? There's some guy that might have been walking across the street and just kind of lined up with one bullet that missed the intended target. Bullets don't always hit what you're wanting to hit. Godzilla, I did. Got it in the arm and was bleeding out and yelling for help. Okay. They've been rioting, burning down multiple buildings, car lots, fires. Yes, the last couple of nights. One elderly man even got hit in the back of the head when trying to protect his business. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. All right? Those people need to be put down. And I do not feel bad. And if you don't want to get put down, don't go out rioting. You know what I mean? It's that easy. What was it? Liar Liar by Jim Carrey. Stop breaking the law, asshole. Right? Sorry for the loud. Scott W. What's up, Scott W? How you doing this evening? Fallout Gaming. I wish that Governor Doug Ducey would let businesses open like bars. Here's the thing. Doug Ducey. Businesses should be opening no matter what. He's no better than me. He's no better than you. He's in a position of perceived power. But guess what? There is a thing called the First Amendment or just the Constitution, right? You have a constitutional right to keep your business open. That you can sue them, right? And this is my big problem with churches. I'm going to get off subject a little bit. I cannot stand churches right now. I am a Christian. I used to go to church. I used to go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they preached for my entire life growing up that someday the government would come and force us not to go to church, and we would have to be like Daniel, who would pray out in the open and not hide his prayer, and then we would have to face the lion's den, but we would do it because that was what God would want, because God is our ruler, not man here on earth, right? What did they do when the pandemic hit? Shut down immediately. Immediately. Oh, government, you want us to shut down? Okay, yeah, we'll shut down. Dude, you have the First Amendment. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to worship. Doug Ducey has no power over that. Yes, they're going to try. They're going to send in their costumed, badged goons and try to shut you down. But guess what? You take that shit to court, you fight the fucking bullshit, and you will win. And then you sue them for doing that shit to you in the first place. Instead, everybody's bowing down and kneeling. Wasn't there a study about alcohol can give you a less chance of getting the Rona? I don't know about that one. And Roosters is my parents' favorite bar in Mesa. Roosters, huh?
Can you put that on live chat so you can see the other comments?
All right. Riddle Girl telling me to put it on live chat. All right. What did I miss? Let's see. Godzilla, no, this is going to turn hot with more fighting on the streets. Fallout Gaming, Doug Ducey is a sellout. He's a rhino. If you want, there's a few good mayors out there, and there's a good governor. The governor that I know of that's a good governor is in South Dakota. But the good mayor in Arizona is in Eager, Arizona. And he's where I got the phrase, I'll err on the side of freedom. Right? He didn't shut nothing down. There is no mask mandate there in Eager, Arizona, because we're going to err on the side of freedom in the Constitution. Right? Now, this was interesting to me. I'm not going to... I might read it all. I don't think it's too long. It's kind of weird. They don't tell us why he called. Right?
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
He was calling to report a home break-in.
Oh, yeah. Right here. I didn't think it said it down here. So a man calls 911 to report a home break-in only to be told officers were too busy to help. This happened in, what was it, South Carolina? North Carolina. Yeah, North. If you have to call 911, the last thing you want to hear is that police officers can't help because they are too busy. This is exactly what happened to a North Carolina man, Jan Friss, called 911 to report a break-in at his home. Boy, I didn't read that earlier. Only to be told officers were all tied up with something else. We'll give it to another officer, but right now they're all tied up with something else, the 911 operator can be heard saying in the call. Friss says hours after he made original 911 call, he received a call from a deputy who asked Friss to call back in the morning when the day shift officers were available. With a break-in. I got angry about that, and the deputy told me that they had a car chase and that they didn't have more than 3 cars and that the highway patrol hadn't helped them and they just didn't have anybody to come and take my report until the next shift came in. Well, it's not just a report. I mean, I guess the person must have left or you dealt with the situation because at that point they're talking report, right? They don't really go into the whole detail on how this ended. Captain Scott Kennedy with Duplin County Sheriff's Office, which is sad because that's the law enforcement that I actually support, confirmed that there was a car chase which tied up officers. He said there were anywhere from 4 to 6 deputies on duty at any time and said they do not have a deputy shortage. Wow. I think you do because I think the police department has got you beat by a lot if you've only got 6 deputies on at a time. What is this, fucking Mayberry? Kennedy said that there were more than 3 deputies working the night on Friss's calls, but did not give an exact number, contradictory to what the deputy told Friss over the phone. As for Friss, he says he feels like the sheriff's office let him down, you think? Kennedy says this was an isolated incident and encourages anyone with concerns about police response times to call him. Yeah. No one was hurt when Friss's home was broken into, and it is unclear if any property damage was stolen. Arm yourselves, guys. Arm yourselves.
The cops are not always going to come. If they do come, it's probably not a good thing for you.
Yeah, well, Broken Patriot says we should all have a church in Walmart. No, we should all have church in church. And when the police come to shut it down, we should stay there and make them take us out peacefully. That's protesting, right? You want to talk about protesting? That's protesting. Everybody, let's go to church. In a church, sit down and actually listen to a preacher preach. And when the police officers come, just continue sitting. Don't fight. Don't do nothing. Just sit. And they'll have to take you out, but they'll have to take you out dragging you. Or they won't, and they'll fine you separately, right? But here's the thing. We'll all wear masks, and we won't drive, right? We'll walk or we'll take the bus, wearing a mask the entire time. So they won't be able to fine us because we'll have our anonymity. And that's a hard word for me to say. And Riddle Girl finds it hilarious. All right, so we're going to watch Pelosi talk about how the conservatives are an enemy to the Constitution. Amazingly.
Interfere in our election, but they're trying to interfere in our election. But they're not the only ones. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Wow. That's hilarious. I think that's one of the funniest things I've heard all night. She wants to protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, but she doesn't like the Second Amendment. It's kind of like the 10 Commandments. They like 9 of them, but the whole worship on Sabbath? Yeah, no, that was done away with, when Jesus died on the cross. But yeah, the other 9, yeah, those are still good. We should keep those. Just the one on Sabbath that I don't want to do because I want to go on Sunday for whatever reason. First of all, if you're into sports, you should want to go on Saturday. First of all, it's biblical, right? Second of all, you can watch the football game on Sunday and not have to worry if your preacher is going to let you out early or not. So House Speaker Pelosi said Republicans should be considered enemies of the state because they are helping Trump interfere with 2020 presidential election. During an interview with MSNBC on Monday, Pelosi once again pushed the debunked conspiracy theory that Trump worked with Russia to win the election in 2016 and accused the GOP of helping him do the same thing once again. The Russians were there, and then they are there now 24/7 trying to interfere in our election, but they are not the only ones. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and sadly the domestic enemies to our voting system, and are honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with their allies in Congress of the United States. Pelosi accused even earned a gasp from MSNBC host, that person, who replied, "Wow." The California Democrat then floated another conspiracy theory that alleged Trump is working with the U.S. Postal Service to suppress Democratic voters. Let's not talk about the fact that New Jersey had to cancel an election because it was so fraudulent with mail-in voting. They're doing everything they can to suppress the vote with their actions, scare people, intimidate them by saying law enforcement will be there, diminish the role of the postal system, and all of this is really acting shameful, she claimed. Wow. Fallout Gaming, I'm part of the LDS church, but I don't agree with much of what they say, but I want to go back to church so I can have some peace in my life, and church is peaceful. Isn't closing churches against the law? It is. It's against the First Amendment. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to religion, right? Just those two alone. The LDS, I've had friends who are LDS. I mean, if that's the church that you're comfortable with going to, that's fine with me for you. I think the Bible is the number one book, because that one was inspired by God. So therefore, that was why I always identified with Seventh-day Adventists, even after, I grew up. Because once I grew up, I was like, well, I want to see what other churches are out there, right? But a lot of the other churches have their own prophets, and their own prophets they put above the Bible. Like, yeah, the Bible says this, but, you got to check our prophet first because he's got reasons why that doesn't matter anymore. And I'm like, no. I mean, Seventh-day Adventists have a prophet too. She was more of a health prophet, Ellen White, if you don't know her, know who she is. But she didn't go against the Bible, right? And I think that, in my opinion, that's just number one. Anything that is secondary to that. And if it contradicts the Bible, then it's not good, in my opinion. Whatever your faith, the government has no place to tell you. If you can't practice your faith, gather to worship. Exactly. And I encourage any LDS people that might be watching, including Fallout Gaming, that maybe we should all start a Facebook group or something and find a... There was a church for sale in Maine. I saw that one on the site.
Yep.
Maybe we should start a church and just start going and sitting in the pews and saying, stop us if you dare, and then sue their ass in court if they try, It's protected. Why are the churches are doing this? Because they don't want to get their tax exempt status taken away. And the reason why they're not seen as, essential is because they don't pay taxes. Right? So if LDS is also shut down, I'm saddened by that as well. They're all about prepping and being ready and keeping the churches up. They are. Yep. LDS are the best prepping religious group that I've ever seen. Hey New You. What's up, Stefan Mickenberg? How you doing this evening? It sucks. I don't even know what story I lost when I accidentally clicked off. Did you guys see I don't know if you guys watched the Republican National Committee. I didn't. I've seen some clips here and there. This one I like though. This is Nick Sandmann. Puts his MAGA hat back on and defies cancel culture.
One more thing. Let's make America great again.
It was probably the interview with him, it was probably the whole speech that I might have clicked off of. Nicholas Sandmann, the MAGA hat wearing high school student who was defamed by the mainstream media at the March for Life in 2019, put on his famous hat again at the RNC, praising President Trump for opposing the cancel culture. I don't really feel like reading all this, but it was a pretty good speech that he had. Let's see if I can find the quotes. Being from Kentucky, the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln, this is it. My classmates and I visited the Lincoln Memorial. I found myself face to face with Nathaniel Phillips and other professional protesters looking to turn me into the latest poster child showing why Trump is bad. While the media portrayed me as the aggressor with a relentless smirk on my face, in reality, the video confirms I was standing with my hands behind my back and an awkward smile on my face that hid two thoughts. One, don't do anything that might further agitate the man banging the drum in my face. And two, trying to follow a family's friend's advice never to do anything that embarrassed your family, your school, or your community. Before I knew what was happening, it was over. One of Mr. Phillips' fellow agitators yelled out, "We got him. It's all right here on video, and we won, Grandpa." What I thought was a strange encounter quickly developed into a major news story complete with video footage. My life changed forever in that moment. The full war machine of the mainstream media revved up into attack mode. They did so without ever researching the full video of the incident, without investigating Mr. Phillips' motives, or without ever asking me for my side of the story. And do you know why? Because the truth wasn't important. Advancing their anti-Christian, anti-conservative, anti-Donald Trump narrative was all that mattered. And if advancing their narrative ruined the reputation of the future of a teenager from COVID Kentucky, so then so be it. That will teach him for wearing a MAGA hat. Well, and I learned that what was happening to me had a name. It was being called canceled, as I annulled, as in revoked, as in made void. Cancel is what's happening to people around this country who refuse to be silenced by the far left. Many are being fired, humiliated, or even threatened. Often the media is willing participant. But I wouldn't be canceled. I fought back hard and exposed the media for what they did to me and won personal victory. Yeah, I did. It was like 50-something million or more. Congratulations on that, by the way, dude. While much more must be done, I look forward to the day that the media returns to providing balanced, responsible, and accountable news coverage. I know President Trump hopes that for that too. I don't think he does. He wants people that, praise him. Balanced news. There's plenty of balanced news that he don't like. I'm proud to say that throughout my media nightmare, I had the President Trump unwavering support. Well, that's good. All right. Zodiac. Protests are okay, right? So protests in at church. That's a good way of looking at it. Thank you for the comment. We're protesting evil, right? And the devil. Did you see that teachers are now considered essential workers? Well, I know they're trying to reopen the schools. Is that the next way of making them reopen the schools? Fallout Gaming, Melinda's speech was better than Michelle's speech. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I'll check that out. Maybe we'll play it tomorrow. Real girl, no, but I'm sure they want to force the teachers back to school even though they don't want to. I think the sooner we get this country back to normal, the better. I don't think they're going to allow it because you remember when this first all started off, they said we all had to wear the mask and it was going to flatten the curve and we would go back to normal once the curve was flattened. Well, the curve never spiked. The curve was always flat. It never really spiked, and it's always been pretty low. In fact, we've gone over this many times for the new people, right? A lot of the time, we've gotten a lot of reports that it's 5 times less likely to kill you than the flu, right? Than the flu. Yet we're shutting down the entire country. And if you try to say that kind of stuff, especially if you're a doctor and you come out with actual facts that contradict the World Health Organization, who's been proven to be liars, then you get turned off. They're not going to allow you to be on the platform. Anytime that they shut down speech, it's a reason to question why. If they shut something down and say you're not allowed to watch this, and it's coming from a doctor, I want to watch it. Because obviously there's something that's truth there, and they don't want us to see it. Because YouTube doesn't have your best interest in heart. Google doesn't have your best interest at heart. They have their own best interest at heart. And their own best interest now is keeping you at home and keeping you complacent and compliant, right? And now we have the World Health Organization coming out and saying we'll never go back to normal. We can't go back to normal because this has been helping global warming, and now we just have to do this because of global warming. So we all have to stay at home in lockdown, put our mask on, let business shut down, screw the economy because environment, right? D-Live, Restream bot still working. Stefan Mickenberg, poison for the folks, so liars everywhere. Okay. AK907, biatch. Nice. I like your name. It was quite poisoned.
Melania's
Poised.
speech.
Oh, Melania's speech? All right. Maybe we'll watch it. How long was it? Was it long? Real girl, I'm sure she was classy. Man, she never had a hotter first lady, huh? AK 907 Biatch, just like the doc recently. Steven, Max virus panic, more profits too. Yep. Look at environmental impacts from PPE.
All the people disposing their gloves and masks on the ground.
Yeah. You know, it used to be like when we were walking down a bad part of town, you'd see a condom, and you'd be like, oh, that's gross, right? Hold up. All right, so it doesn't show it. Real Girl was trying to tell me that you donated a lemon. Thank you very much for that. It doesn't show it on Restream. I'm going to have to figure something out. I do appreciate the support. Thank you very much for doing that. Look at so as I was saying, though, it used to be you go to a crappy part of town, you see a condom on the ground. It was gross, right? I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. Now it's these masks everywhere, right? They absolutely do nothing, right? And I've done this before, right? I have all these different masks. Right, and I have them because I did a video on how these don't do a damn thing. Because I used to vape, and I still have my vaping device with zero nic, and I vape, and you can see the vape going everywhere. Right, that's my breath. In fact, my breath is more than that vape because the vape is kind of dense. But when I exhale, and you see these big clouds pluming out of my mouth every time I breathe, and somehow the masks are going to work. Okay. Tell me how it's... I had some people like, well, it doesn't stop everything. It just flattens it because it catches some particles. And I'm like, yes, it does. It makes a little wet spot right around your mouth when you breathe. So congratulations. You just stopped like 3 droplets of spit coming out of your mask. Meanwhile, billions are coming at you. I make the comparison. It's like standing in front of a firing squad with a bulletproof vest. Right? You got a bulletproof vest. Level 4 and everything, right? But you're facing the entire U.S. Army. Yes, you're going to stop a few bullets. Congratulations. You're still dead. Right? Ice Cube called out the DNC for not talking about what they're going to do for African-American communities. I did see that. He said that you need to make them earn your vote. I thought that was amazing. That's the first thing a celebrity has said that, you know, I wouldn't agree with his politics, but I agree with his statement. Big time. Matt Hodges, welcome. I sure hope people fight back more than they are now when they try and mandate the vaccine. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of people who say, oh, they're never going to give me that shot. I'm going to take them out. Yeah, I'm not going to take their shot. They're going to be like, sure, I'll take the shot. Especially when they're rolling up with the National Guard at your door. Like, okay, it's time for your inoculation. That's where the rubber's going to meet the road. It's all big talk right now. We'll see who actually has the balls to stand up later. Let's see. Real Girl says hello to Matt Hodges, Poitus Singer, and I will not be taking the vaccine even if it's the last thing we don't do. Exactly. Stephen Mickenberg, they need only your DNA test and vax forced. They need only your DNA test and vax forced. Well, what they'll do is they'll make it so that you can't, anytime you have to go to at first, they're going to start with the hospitals, right? You can't get a surgery unless it's absolutely necessary, unless you get the vaccine. In fact, they might just vaccinate you right then and there when you go in. If it is mandatory that you go, like if it's life-saving, you might have to get vaccinated no matter what. If it's not life-saving, if it's elective, and there's a lot of elective surgeries that are necessary, they're going to make you get it, or you're not going to be able to get that surgery, right? And eventually, they're going to try to get us to a cashless society. It's all going to be on cards, or all on your phone, or all on a chip, whatever way you want to do it. This whole coin shortage is a good excuse to do it, right? Well, we wouldn't have to worry about coin shortages if we just all went to digital. And not to mention, it costs more to make a penny than a penny's worth. They've said... Used to be pennies were made out of copper back until 1982, and then they switched it to zinc because it was more expensive to make than it was, and now it's zinc, and now it's still more expensive, right? So obviously inflation is a big thing. So yeah, be ready. And if you don't have your vaccine, guess what? Your account gets locked, and you're not allowed to buy or sell. Zeus, we will run out of oxygen in 52,000 years. We don't need Amazon. There you go. Matt Hodges, I'm with you. They'll have to hold me down, and even then, at least one of them are going down. Dude, if you come at me with something that's going to poke me, I'll poke you back. Welcome, Matt. I truly believe that vaccines are DNA specific and some will die. Well, yes, they are trying to recode your DNA. I think that was what your comment was talking about up here, maybe. Or no, that was Stefan. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And they say that you probably are going to have to get vaccinated more than once a year, kind of like the flu shot, because there's different strains of it. Oh, and we have the new doctor that Trump hired saying how there's a new treatment that's 33%, 35% effective, and it's a really great thing. Nobody wants to talk about that because that's something that's already been on the market for hundreds of years, right? So there's no money to be made. That's the reason. You want to know why they want to vaccinate you? It's about the money. Hydroxychloroquine, you can't charge a lot of money for that. That medicine's been out for at least 60 years and is very, very cheap, and there's plenty of generics.
Safe.
And it's very, very safe. You can't make money. Bill Gates can't make money giving you hydroxychloroquine, right? So what do you have to do? You have to make a new thing that they can give you with vaccine shots. And they even asked Bill Gates if he was going to make it a free vaccine. You know, are you going to make it free since it's Corona and everybody, you know, everybody should have a free test. He's like, no, we're not making it free. There's a reason why he's not doing this for humanity. He's doing this to pad his bank account even more for whatever reason. I don't know why you need even more money, but okay. Let's see. All right. Truly believe. Okay. Just gonna skim these. Okay, I'm back listening to chores. Okay. Georgia on my mind. 500 billion survivors. Says Stefan. I put wifey to bed and other little trivia BS. One thing is for sure, a lot of stuff hitting the fan right now. Oh my goodness, you said it. Yeah, you said it. All right. Why I question everything and why you should too. We couldn't believe it. A 20-year-old woman pronounced dead, found breathing at funeral home. How would you like to be the mortician? Detroit, a young woman who was declared dead at her suburban Detroit home opened her eyes at the funeral home she was about to be embalmed. Wow. They would have begun draining her blood, to be very, very frank about it. The Southern Fire Department acknowledged it involved in a bizarre set of events Sunday that began when a medical crew was summoned to a home where a 20-year-old woman was unresponsive. Paramedics tried to revive the woman for 30 minutes and consulted an emergency room doctor, the department said. The doctor, who should be arrested, pronounced the patient deceased based on medical information provided from the scene. Did probably not check at all himself. Oh, you say that she wasn't responsive? All right, she did. The Oakland County Medical Examiner Office said the body could be released to the family without an autopsy, according to the fire department. But then came startling discovery at James H. Cole Funeral Home in Detroit. The woman was still alive more than an hour later. Our staff confirmed she was breathing and called emergency medical crew at the funeral home, said. Pfizer, who was hired by the family, identified the woman as Timesha Beechamp. They were about to embalm her, which is most frightening, and if she had not opened her eyes, Feeker said. The funeral home unzipped the body bag, literally. That's what happened to Tamisha, and seeing her alive with her eyes open. Pfizer didn't return a message from the Associated Press. Beecham was in critical condition Monday night, said Brian Taylor, spokesman for the Detroit Medical Center. My heart's so heavy. Someone pronounced my child dead, and she's not even dead, Beechamp's mother, Erica, said. Southfield said it's conducting an internal investigation. Gotta love the internal investigations, right? Let's not have an external investigation. No, because that might actually show something that we don't want to show. But insisted that the fire and the police departments both follow procedure. Oh, yeah, of course. We couldn't believe it, said David Furnell, deputy commissioner of the Detroit Fire Department, whose first responders were called to the funeral home. Wow. Just wow. All right, let's see what we got. Just think how much money he will get if he charges $1 per shot. Well, they're not going to charge you personally, right? You probably won't have an out-of-pocket if you have insurance. But boy, are they going to charge your insurance. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you go to the doctor, if you pay cash versus if you have insurance, right? If you pay cash for the entire visit, it's a lot less expensive. It's like 4 times more expensive if you have insurance, because they know that they can overcharge your insurance company and they're just going to pay it. Now, if it's you, though, you might question, well, why are you charging me $300 for the pillow that I rested my head on, right? Because they charge all of that to your insurance. It's a racket. Nothing more, nothing less. Eugenic kill bill. It's amazing with all this technology that something like this can still happen in this day and age. I know, right? The whole death thing. Did they check her pulse? They must have tried, but man, they must not have found it. They want to vaccinate every single person on the entire world. It's not about the money. They can always print more. It's about control. Eugenics, money, and power. Wow, Riddle. Really well said. Exactly. And having a shot you have to take multiple times a year. I mean, look at the flu shot. And this is why I never took the flu shot. You know, I know a lot of you probably have taken the flu shot, but they pushed it. Every damn year they would push it so darn hard. I'm like, no. Anything you push that hard, I don't want. And I never really understood. You know, for a long time I was like, I just don't want it because it feels like you're really wanting me to get it, and that I just don't want to do it. No. And then the more time went on, the more I'm learning about it. I'm like, yeah, it's about the money. They want to give a flu shot every single year because they get money for it. And it's going to be the same thing with this. Matt Hodges, so who got shot in Kenosha during the looting? I have no idea. Apparently there was 3 people this evening that got shot. Some people say it was the National Guard. Some people say it was other rioters. We'll find out tomorrow if there was any deaths. Anybody involved in rioting and looting at the time that they got shot, I have no sympathy for. So if you don't want to get shot, then don't go out and riot and loot. Because if the police and the National Guard don't shoot you, business owners and residents might. And they have every right to. I think body bags are non-breathable. Well, no, they have a zipper, right? So they have to be somewhat breathable, I'm sure. Mr. Tommy Boy says, no, 30% this time for Google. Oh, nice. Did you donate? I don't get a notification for that, I don't think, unless Real Girl gets a notification. But I appreciate it. Gabriel Montoya, hey, it's been a minute since I've seen you, but welcome back. 100 years in the making, big pharma vaccine. Also, smart dust is everywhere. They have sprayed heavily in the past 20 years. It's all coming into play with 5G contact tracing. Okay, I don't know about smart dust. That is a conspiracy theory I don't know yet. I'm going to have to look into that. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Tommy Boy, for the donation. I appreciate it. Real Girl just shared with me the donation. Thank you for the support. It really does help. Matt Hodgkin says, okay, thanks. Same here. I use direct link in your description below. Cool. Well, I know. I just have a few descriptions down there, so I was just checking to see.
It had a bit of a delay before it notified me, but it did notify me.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay. That's fine. That's fine. All right. 1 second, please. All right, guys. Well, that's all I'm going to have for you this evening. Don't forget there are links in the descriptions below. The first link in the description below is Adam Lawson's Blessed. That's the song that comes on before I come on live. Next is the causes I believe in and support. We're still going for justice for Cannon. Remember Cannon? He's the little boy who got shot in front of his house with his sisters. Hold on a second. I don't know, Riddle. Okay, so justice for Cannon. Riddle did something, and now I can't get my thing to open. So, let's see. 1 second, folks. Sorry about that. Causes I believe in support. So the little boy who got shot in his front yard by his neighbor, we're definitely still trying to support his cause. Petition to arrest officers Jeff Cook and John Ferragamo. Those are the officers who killed Ryan Whitaker here in Phoenix. Shot him in the back as he was getting on his knees and putting his weapon down because he didn't know he was getting swatted at the time. He thought it was some non-savory characters. Ryan's family also has a GoFundMe. That's the GoFundMe. You can donate to his GoFundMe there. If you want news and updates on his murder, you can go to his Facebook page, Justice for Ryan. You can also help fund our Missing in Action. So ProjectRecover.org is a great organization. It goes out and actively looks for lost service members in the line of battle and brings their remains back to their families. And lastly, Rally Point Irish is my good friend, Irish USMC vet. He's trying to set up a place in Tennessee with some land where people can come and live, rent, and board free, room and board free, while they learn new skills like gardening or farming, technically, blacksmithing and gunsmithing. Now, if you want to support my content, I have a few ways that you can do it. You can do it super chats, obviously, or you can do Bitcoin. I have a link there also for you if you want to get $10 free in Bitcoin, which Bitcoin's doing pretty well right now, and $10 free is $10 free. You can also donate with Bitcoin Cash, Erethreum Classic, Basic Attention Token, and PayPal. Those are the ways to support the channel, and I do appreciate it. Especially thank you very much, Mr. TommyBoy9. All the places that you can follow me, I have a BitChute channel. I've only posted a few things there, but I am thinking about maybe transferring most of my videos from YouTube over to BitChute. You can also watch me on DLive. I know a few of you are right now. Parler, instead of Twitter, I use Parler. YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, I am, streaming on YouTube as well. And Facebook and Twitter are Riddle Girl. Those links will take you to her pages of Facebook and Twitter. She's on Facebook more than I am, and I've been permanently banned from Twitter because I posted a link about when I was going to go live on YouTube, and they said, no, that's hate speech. I don't really understand it, but, whatever. I'm fighting it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Want to sleep well tonight? Oh, well, appreciate it. Poison Stinger and I went down to grade an old school flip phone.
We want to
downgrade. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Matt Hodges subscribed with alert. Sounds like you have a good stream. Didn't read up.
Oh, Hodges. Oh, sorry. I don't read up sometimes. Same here. I used a direct link in your description below. Chemtrails. Yeah, I know about chemtrails. But I thought that was something different. I'll have to look into the newest thing. Stefan, nano, dead technology, turn on 5G and you're boiled. Yeah, I know there's a lot to the 5G thing. I don't know how much of it I buy into. You know what I mean? But I have an open mind. Chemtrails equals nanotechnology in your body. I know it has aluminum. I donated to Canon the other night. Well, I appreciate it, man. Any donation to any of those causes I believe in and support, you can kind of consider that a donation to me as well. Obviously, it's causes I believe in and I support. Now, if you support my channel, that's a different way of doing it. But, I appreciate it all. I do. Thank you. Subscribe with alerts. Sounds like you have a good stream. Well, I appreciate that, man. Awesome. Thank you, Matt. We do this every night at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That was about an hour and 20 minutes ago. What I like about you, Poison, is that you are objective other than the media that is super biased. I try to be. I have my issues, right? We all have biases. But I do try to err on the side of freedom. Is it constitutional? Is this what the forefathers would think that would be right? Right? And does this align with my Christian conservative values? And free speech should be protected all the way around. Not just because I agree with it, right? That's our whole thing with YouTube and the left, right? We're all pissy with them because they cry free speech about their stuff, and then they want to, squelch our free speech. I believe in everybody's free speech, and it's dangerous. It has its problems, right? You get socialists and Marxists out there convincing people that that's a good idea, but you know what? That's part of free speech. And I will protect their free speech as much as I would want anybody to protect mine. And I protect the not fucking around anymore coalition or clan or whatever they're calling themselves right now, the ones that shot themselves. I haven't heard anything from them in a while, but I support them and their right to protest with firearms. I do not agree with their message, but they have a right in America. Just like the KKK would have a right. Oh, I'm going to get banned now. All right, I have a flip phone, never a smartphone. Man, I wish. Mr. TB9, flip phones are the bomb. Thank you for donating. Definitely. It's all good, son. You have so many listeners, you won't be able to read them all. When I'm done here, I'll click on Marfugal News. Marfugal? I haven't heard of that one. You will have so many listeners, you won't be able to read them all. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm glad that if you want to do, there's different ways of support, right? Causes I believe in and support. You can donate to the channel directly with all the links in the thing. Or you can like, subscribe, ring the bell. And one of the biggest ways you can support the channel without paying any money is sharing. Sharing on your social media, right? Because that's the way that we actually grow the channel. I like the way they talk in a Sling Blade voice. You got a pretty mouth. Mm-hmm. Right? I like the collars that Marv has on his show. I used to take callers on my old show. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for joining. Don't forget to hit like if you liked. Hit the dislike if you didn't like the video. Subscribe if you're not already. Consider hitting the bell if you want to know when I go live or when I drop a video, which sometimes I actually do make videos on YouTube still, here and there, right? Until tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, make sure you keep your family close. Watch out for that government. And try to live as free as you possibly can in this tyrannical time that we find ourselves in. Peace.